Caleb is escorted by his mother, Leah, and his father, Stephen.
Welcome to Gardner-Edgerton High School in Gardner, Kansas. Tonight's matchup between the 0-7 Shawnee Mission West Vikings and the 7-0 Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazers. I'm David Compton doing play-by-play. Mike Relihan doing analysis. Chris Turner and DJ Turner doing the camera and game analysis. Todd Walker is tonight's statistician. West is looking for its first win in the final regular season game after dropping last week's game to Shawnee Mission North 30-27. West led most of that game, but North scored late to take a 3-point lead, and the Vikings could not answer. Gardner-Edgerton enters tonight's game at 7-0, coming off a 49-27 win over Shawnee Mission Northwest. Coach Tim Callahan is 103-61 at West. Overall, this will be the first meeting between these two schools on the gridiron as Gardner-Edgerton joins the Sunflower League this year. Gardner-Edgerton is the only undefeated team left on the east side of the 6A bracket, and with the win will assure themselves of the 6A East bracket #1 seed for the playoffs that begin next week. It's been an incredible turnaround for Gardner-Edgerton under first-year coach Ryan Cornelison, the former Hutch head coach. After going 6-32 over the past 4 years, including 2 0-9 seasons, they are undefeated this year. Even though this will be the first time these two teams have met, Gardner-Edgerton should look familiar on the offensive side of the ball. As we get into it and preview the game, we'll see that Gardner-Edgerton runs the exact same offense that Shawnee Mission East has run for the last 5 years. Wanted to bring in Mike Relihan and Chris Turner as we start the pregame activities, and we'll probably have it's senior night here at Gardner-Edgerton, and we'll have the national anthem here shortly, but we get started, bring in Mike and Chris to talk about this game. And I was saying it should look familiar to us, because on offense at least, because we've seen this since the 2013 season with Shawnee Mission East.
Yeah, we're gonna see another version of the flex bone offense, and one of the things that we know about that, Dave, is it's as we said before, it's kind of like the Chinese water torture, right? They'll come after you. What the whole premise behind that whole offense is just outnumbering your defense at the point of attack. You'll see a double wing offense. You'll see them bring the wing in motion, try to get out front. They'll lead with the fullback, they'll lead with the halfback, and they'll run with the quarterback, and they'll just basically overload the side. What'll be interesting, again, the nice thing for West is that it's not anything new. We've run against it with East, and the hard part is just how do you shut it down. And the reason why we say Chinese water torture is because they typically don't just break the ball away. I mean, they'll pick at you, they'll pick at you, they'll get their 3, they'll get their 4, they'll get their 7, they'll get 12, but they just keep moving the ball downfield. And what's traditional about this type of offense is they just burn a ton of clock.
And as we look at the stats and the matchup, statistically for this game, they do it almost all on the ground. They have, I think, 20-some passes all year long, but they're averaging almost 400 yards a game on the ground.
No, and that's what's so funny about it. It just seems almost ridiculous. You go back and you look at the stats, and there was actually 3 games they played this year, Dave, where they had 0 passing yards. But when you're running up nearly 400 yards on the ground, you don't need to pass, right? So when you do look at the stats, it's just ridiculous. I mean, they're almost double the numbers of us for our total offense, and it all comes on the ground. The one decided advantage we have is passing. But when you look at what they're doing on the ground, 33 rushing yards a game, which is just ridiculous. They're obviously scoring the points, 37. Now, the one interesting part about it is they are giving up a few points. They're giving up almost 3 touchdowns a game. And the other thing from a turnover standpoint, even though they run so much, which typically you protect the ball versus throwing the ball in the air, they do turn the ball over a little bit.
So we'll start here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trailblazers students,
the
round of applause. Let's thank
Gardner-Edgerton band is taking the field. So we'll be as senior night's wrapping up here too for the Gardner-Edgerton seniors, who I'll say an amazing turnaround for them. And you got to hand it to the seniors who went through last year an 0-9 season, and they'd won 6 games I think in their total let's see, they'd won 6 games in all of their high school career since
Right.
they were freshmen in the first 3 years, and then 7-0 in this season. They've really taken it to this flexbone offense and this new coaching staff.
Yeah, and you give them credit for that because, again, that's got to be hard for those kids going through that many years and having disappointment. It does tell you how much they've bought into this system this year, and give the coach a ton of credit. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work to revamp the offense and to get everybody on board with it. And we both know, Dave, we talked about this on the way over, how difficult it is to run that offense. I mean, it's a machine, but again, there's a lot of reads, and it really has to be well executed for it to work.
He also, one of the other things that's really shown in too, he hired Mark Simino, who did the Simino Sports training and a 10-year career in the NFL and College Football Hall of Fame. The guy knows how to play football. He knows how to train athletes, and he knows how to train them both strength and speed. He hired him this year too. So they've really put a good coaching staff here too.
Right, and I didn't realize that until you just said that, but Mark Semino's been known in this area for a long time, not just for being a professional football player, but for his strength and conditioning programs that he does with these young athletes. So again, it's interesting. It should be no surprise when you start thinking of the puzzles that you put into place that these guys are successful.
So I believe we'll get here started with the national anthem here at the Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazer band. Maybe not. We'll go a little bit as they do the fight song here. As we look at what West has to do, look at some of the players that have to step up, or we see stepping up both offensive and defensively, and it starts with Trayvon, who's had a really, really nice couple of games here, both on both sides of the ball, but most definitely offensively.
Yeah, and I don't think there's really any surprises here for the West family. I mean, we know Trayvon Gilliard. For us to be successful, Trayvon's got to be successful. He's averaging almost 100 yards a game. He's 5.4 yards per carry, which you got to give him a lot of credit for that. For some of the tougher games that we've had this year, and still to be averaging that many yards per carry is great. And 2 games over 100 yards. So.
And the other guy who's really turned it on, I think most of the year, but most definitely probably the last 4 or 5 games is Wesley Clark.
No, and this is where I see the opportunity for West and what we saw in the last. And I think the reason why you saw some success over the last couple of weeks, Dave, was more balanced attack. You actually getting some success in the air. Give Wesley Clark and C.J. Callahan credit for that. Finding some open spaces. Wesley catching the ball. I think he's got like 29 receptions this year, 400 yards receiving through the air, and just doing a really nice job. I don't know what we don't keep these stats, but his yards after catch have got to be huge.
Doing a really good job. And so we're going to take a real quick break for the national anthem, and we'll be back to look at some of the other West players and the Gardner-Edgerton players too. national anthem by the Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazer Band. We'll get back into some of these players here for West. And as we were looking, we talked about the impact players on offense. Let's look a little bit on defense. And I tell you what, it really starts up front in the linebackers against this flex bone.
Please remember to visit the Booster Club.
I think without a doubt,
south end of the stadium for your chance to win tonight's
you look at
game.
that flex bone and you think that it's got to be able to be stopped because everything's contained within kind of the tackles, right, Dave? And this is where I think the key to the game. I think really you got to look at our outside guys. I think you got to look at Xavier Gleason and Jacob Port. And these guys have just got to seal the ends because what they're counting on is they're going to try to outnumber you at that point of attack. And if they get outside, they do have the numbers because you got to lead with a running back, you got to lead with a fullback, and then you got a wide receiver blocking for you. So I'm looking for those guys that be important this year.
I tell you what,
exciting night of football here, Dave.
The sound system at Oakley, we'll try to get this a good mix here because the sound system at this place is really, really loud. I will tell you that much. They've got a really good sound system.
And to continue with the defense, so you're going to the outside guys are going to seal, and you hope that they're going to seal because it's going to funnel everybody in the middle, and that just means that your backers are just going to have to crash, Dave.
You got a couple of young linebackers in the middle trying to clog that up, make plays.
We know Trayvon Gilliard being there; he's still one of our leading tacklers on the team. Caden Richardson has been playing the last couple of weeks, and he's going to be a big role. He's only a sophomore. He's a guy that's going to really have to step up and he's going to get his feet wet tonight. And then I saw a couple guys on the practice field. I'm assuming that maybe we're going to see it's possible that we're going to see I'm losing my thought process here. Adam Hawkins, I think he's possibly going to fill in some time just because he's a bigger body. And what you're going to see is so many people crashing the point of attack. You just need some big bodies down there.
And you also need, with those guys, you need a safety that's going to come up and fill too and make tackles.
Well, and we talked about Wesley Clark. I mean, this guy's an all-around player. He's leading the team, Dave, in tackles. He's averaging almost 11 tackles a game. And good and bad. Good the fact that we got a great free safety. Bad the fact that they're getting that deep into the defense.
Offensively for Gardner-Edgerton, it really surrounds. Everything revolves around these three guys.
Well, we were laughing about that on the way up. I mean, we looked at the stats earlier. You're looking, 400 yards of rushing. So really, it involves three guys. You got the quarterback, Tevin McKelvey. He's got 14 touchdowns on the year, Dave. He's averaging 87 yards rushing, and doesn't have to throw the ball because they're so successful running it. Then you have senior running back Luke Jennings. He's going to remind us a lot of what we saw last week, right, with Connolly. 6'4", almost 210 pounds. He's got 10 touchdowns this year. He's averaging 125 yards on the ground.
What pops out at me with Jennings is almost 12 yards per carry is his average, 11.7 yards per carry.
Well, the guy's 6'4", Dave. All he's got to do is his stride is 6 yards long. So all he's got to do is make a couple steps, and he's averaging 12.
He's got there.
And then Jacob Hunsberger, which is interesting. He's a fullback, and you'll watch him, and he's so close to the line of scrimmage. It just cracks me up, right? But he's an integral part of it. And between those three guys, they're all averaging about 100 yards a game. It's just crazy.
We look at them defensively. It's interesting. We talked about this earlier, too, is their front three is pretty much set. They move those other 8 guys around in the linebackers and the defensive backs quite a bit.
Well, and it's so funny. We were trying to figure out beforehand, what do you call the defense? Do you call it a 3-4? Do you call it a 3-6? I mean, what's interesting about it is we do have the 3 down linemen, and then what they're going to do is you're going to see Devontae Pritchard and you're going to see Darren Robertson. They kind of free these guys up to freelance, and they're going to hit the A gap. You're going to watch them line up on one side of the center and then go over and line up on the other side of the center. So those guys are real athletic. You see Devontae Pritchard, he's averaging 10 tackles a game. And then they've got some really active kind of DBs. You're going to have Corbin Moore, you're going to have Marshall Mason in there, and really just a host of other people, like you said.
So as we talk through these players on both sides of the ball, and got to look at some of the things that West needs to do to win this game. One of the biggest things, I know we got offense there, but to me that assignment discipline on defense is just one of the biggest things, because you can play two two plays perfectly against this offense. You blow an assignment on one, and there's your first down or bigger play.
Well, and it's funny, and I just go back to conversations that we had when our kids were playing, and especially your son Josh, who played linebacker for West, and we always talked to him about that whole flex bone defense or offense and how you defend it. And I'll never forget him saying, "Hey, they drilled into our head, discipline, do your assignment, because if you're not, it's only that one play that'll break you." And again, so against that against that offense, you just have to be disciplined.
And I think offensively, as we looked at it, Gardner is giving up some points this year. They're giving up some points, and that's going to be important for West to get some points here and score. And they're going to have to do it both on the ground and in the air.
No, and I think the reason why I throw the turnovers in there is because, again, they're giving the ball up a couple times a game, or almost 2 times a game. But the big thing about it for me is, let's face it, you're only going to get the ball so many times a game. You're going to get it 8 to 10 times a game, and you got to get the ball away from Gardner-Edgerton because they're going to control the clock so much.
Or they'll take it just drive it right down the field, methodically drive it down the field, the Chinese water torture play. So Gardner-Edgerton, keys to victory, and again, if they get this victory tonight, they're the number 1 seed on the east side with an undefeated 8-0 record.
Well, and one that I didn't even put in here that I was thinking about on the way over, just no letdowns. I mean, it's senior night for these guys. They're coming out here. Everybody's already predicting them to go undefeated and be the number 1 seed and going into the playoffs. So they can't let up. They can't give West a reason to get excited. But for them, really, just they can't afford the turnovers because, again, that takes their offense off the field. Control the ball on the clock. We know that with this type of offense, that's easy for them. As long as they have the ball, they're going to control the clock, and that's exactly what they want to do. And then we've talked about this all year long. You put West in third and long situation, it's just not ideal for us. That's not our strength. And let's face it, it's nobody's strength. And then I think the last thing, and the reason I said this, put the game out of reach in the first half, we found that we've kind of had a little bit of second half fade. And even though we had one strong week, you go back to looking over the stats, and there's only a handful of touchdowns in the whole second half for us for the whole season. I think there's 4 total.
Yeah. And so this is going to be a game where West is going to absolutely have to come and play. Going to have to come and play not just physically, but very much mentally in this game, so that they don't have the continuous long drives against them.
Right.
So West does win the toss and will defer, so they'll be kicking, and they'll get the ball to start the second half. And get this started again. So right now, as it stands, with a win, Gardner-Edgerton would be the number 1 seed in the east side for the playoffs, which start next week. And West, right now, it's probably looking like with a loss, West would be play around the 14th seed, would probably be playing maybe Olathe North. So we'll see how things shake out here. We got a little bit of football. We got 48 minutes of football to go to see how these two teams end up the regular season and get ready to go into the postseason. So
nice night for football, Dave. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better night for these guys. So I think the one thing for West, what do you got to lose? You go out there, everybody's expecting you to lose. You got an absolutely beautiful night of football. You got one of the last games for these seniors to actually show some pride, and we'll see what happens.
So as West deferred again, we'll kick off. Ruben Anderson with the kick. A shorter kick taken around the 16-yard line by Gardner-Edgerton will bring it up to the 26-yard line. A 10-yard return for Gardner-Edgerton right there. And they'll start 1st and 10 at the 26 and a half. We'll give them the 27-yard line here. 27-yard line with 11:56.
Trailblazers begin on offense, 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line.
So again, Tevin McKelvey, number 1, there is the quarterback. Fullback Jacob Hunsbarger, and then wingbacks will be Luke Jennings and A.J. Rodriguez. And there's the give to Rodriguez, who's oh no, he's gonna. That was just the give was to Jacob Hunsberger, who took it up the middle. Just the fake to Rodriguez. And the funniest thing, I should have known that because that's the exact same play they opened the game with against Northwest on film, and I thought Rodriguez had it at that time too, but it was right up the middle to Hunsberger. So
it just shows why it's so hard to defend this offense.
A gain of 9 on first down from Hunsberger. There's McKelvey in the give. And that time, Luke Jennings was in the backfield as a tailback, and he's going to get 2 yards and pick up that first down. And again, as we talked about, nothing special, just yards and yards and yards and yards as they get going here.
Yeah, they're just going to continue to come at you. But the beauty about that flex bone with a double wing set like that, they don't play their hand. You really don't know one side or the other, whether they're going up the middle. There's just so many weapons.
And when they really do sweep to one side, even with the quarterback doing it, they can have 4 guys out in front, 3 guys blocking, and the quarterback carrying the ball right there. And there's there as he comes around the side. Oh, and he just runs over the safety there, and McKelvey fumbles the ball late, and West is on that ball. Oh, they're going to mark him down. And I don't think he was down. And guys, one thing we're going to have to talk through here is we're blocked by the wireless of sending of doing the replay because we can't get the live feedback for the replay. So we're going to try to get that set up.
McKelvey with a 34-yard.
Why'd they mark it back here now?
So they give them a gain all the way up to the 37 of West.
It appears like they're saying the ground can't cause a fumble, and I think what they did was where the ball hit the ground is where they're marking it.
So a 25-yard gain for McKelvey there, and it'll be 1st and 10 with 10:30 left to go here in the first quarter. There's the give to number 3, and I tell you what,
he's a beast.
Luke Jennings is a big kid, and Jalen Blewett's having to absorb some hits here in the first time.
Well, the first time he
first
time he got ran over, but that time he held on for the tackle.
Well, and we didn't even mention on this last play, Wesley Clark did a fantastic job of tying up the quarterback because I'll tell you what, if he doesn't get hung up by him, he was gone.
He just grabbed his foot barely there and made him go down.
So 2nd and 7 at the 34-yard line. McKelvey again to Jennings, and Jennings going to take it around to about the 31. He gets a fairly generous spot to the 31. Thought it might have been around 32, but a gain of 3. And
you give Wes credit. I mean, this is what you want on this. This is one of those offenses where they're going to get the yardage. They've proven it. But if you can get a couple stops on them and get them in a 3rd and 4, it's right where you want them.
So a 3rd and 4 at the 31-yard line. Gardner with 3 yards on both of those first gives, and there's the give right up the middle. And around the corner, Jacob Hunsberger is going to take it around to the 6-yard line, it looks like. We'll see where they mark him out. The line's on back at the 9-yard line, so a gain of 22 yards. And again, guys, that's what we're talking about. 3 yards, 3 yards. You play for the assignment sound, then you get one broke, and there's a 22-yard gain for a first down there.
Right.
1st and goal at the 9-yard line with 9:08 left to go here in the first quarter. McKelvey under center, and he's going to. Can't see if he gave or he did give it. He gave it to Hunsberger right up the middle. Hunsberger gets to the 6-yard line for a gain of 3.
60 Webb making the tackle.
8:53 left to go. First quarter, the opening drive of the game as West deferred and kicked off. And Gardner's currently on a 7-play drive that started at their own 27-yard line right now. Down at 2nd and goal, the 6. There's the give to Jennings, who's trying to sneak up in the middle. He's going to get pushed back at the 3-yard line, so he gets down to the 3. Another gain of 3. We've seen this. We've seen this before. 3-3, big play. 3-3, big play.
Right.
So this is a play that Wes is going to have to step up here.
Well, and if you think, like you said, because they run this and then everything kind of stays, I say between the tackles, it's not between the wings, but you bring everybody towards the middle of the field and you think, okay, this should be easy to defend. But again, there's so many weapons, you don't know which direction they're heading in. And you like the fact that they're scrunched down by the goal line because you bring everybody together. So let's see what happens on this play.
3rd and goal at the 3-yard line. There's the follow. McKelvey's trying to get in the end zone, and he does.
And that's what,
He follows,
just following the big man.
He follows Hunsberger into the end zone, and so it's 3-3-3, but that's a good 3 for Gardner-Edgerton as it gets him into the end zone for a touchdown.
And there's the classic what we talked about on this offense, Dave. So Hunsberger comes through as the fullback. He's the first lead. Then you come through with your big back, Jennings, who's 6'4". You know, he's like having an extra lineman back there. And then the quarterback just follows the 2 guys through the hole, and really it is not that difficult to get in the end zone.
And here is Caleb Calvin, number 30, with the extra point attempt. Left-footed kicker. Out of the snap of Brian O'Neary. It's up, and it is good, just inside the left upright. And with 7:41 left to go, it's 7-0 Gardner-Edgerton. Gardner, again, a 9-play, 73-yard drive, capped off by a touchdown by Tevin McKelvey with 7:41 left to go, and a 7-0 Gardner lead. We'll be right back after this timeout. On for the Gardner-Edgerton kickoff.
For West, number 5, Humphreys, and 21, Clark.
Wesley Clark, number 21, and Will Humphreys, number 5, back take this kick. Jake McClure with the kick. Taken by Will Humphreys at the 10. Fake the give, and Will's going to take it all the way up. He's at the 40. He's still up to his 45. We're going to have a penalty around the 35-yard line. So West looks like they're going to start about the 25-yard line. But a nice return of about 35, 36 yards by Will Humphreys.
He's already past that guy. I don't know why you got to hold him, but
yeah, unfortunately, that's going to be right around the 36-yard line, so it's going to take it back to about the 26-yard line. 26, 27. We'll see where they actually do set up here. .26-yard line. So West was going to start. 7:32 left to go here in the first quarter at their own 26-yard line.
West takes over on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 26.
Callahan under center. There's the give straight ahead to Cadillo. He's going to take it forward for about 2 yards, 3 yards to the 29-yard line. As we look at the starters in tonight's game in the backfield for West, C.J. Callahan, number 10 at quarterback, Trayvon Gilliard at tailback, running back, and Joseph Cadillo just had that carry at fullback. So 2nd and 7 after the 3-yard gain by Cadillo. West at the 29-yard line. There's the give to Trayvon Gilliard, who's up the middle, spinning. He gets about to the 31-yard line, so a gain of 2. Bring up a 3rd and 5 there. As we look at the receivers, you'll see a combination of these receivers, tight ends for West tonight. Wesley Clark, the junior, number 21. Will Humphreys, senior, number 5. Singh, number 2, another senior. Xavier Gleason, Alex Rosado will be your tight ends. There's the give to Cadillo, and a nice gain by Cadillo all the way up to the 39-yard line. So a gain of 8.
I think that was Kenny.
Was that Kenny?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry. Thank you guys for keeping me straight here.
No, nothing against Cadillo.
I didn't even see him sub him in.
I thought he was a little quick for Cadillo, yeah. But he did come out in the fullback position.
So Kenny actually
Why not
is
do that, right?
Yeah, so Kenny is actually out of the fullback position on that one. So I was right as the fullback, but it was Kenny as the fullback. There
you go.
There's Trayvon Gilliard is going to take it around side. Gilliard takes it up for another first down, another gain of 10, and West will have a first down at their own 49-yard line.
Nice
6:05 left to go.
Nice job by the guys on the right side there, and Dante Smith-Posey and the guys on the right side clearing just a nice gap for Gilliard to get through there. And give Gilliard credit for just being patient and setting up his blockers.
Cadillo back as the fullback. He's going to lead Trayvon Gilliard up through that hole. No, that's Kenny. Now Kenny's getting dual work back there. Kenny's going to take it all the way up to the 47-yard line of Gardner-Edgerton for a 4-yard gain. As we look at the offensive lineman for West out there. Yeah, the scoreboard went down. I think we may be using too much power for our broadcast, and we've taken the whole thing down. So, but we got the offensive line for West, and this is a little bit different tonight. They had slid Carson Lilla over to the left guard, but he's playing left tackle tonight. Mark Tynes at center, Adam Hawkins at right guard, Dante Smith-Posey at right tackle, and trying to look and see who's in there at right guard. We'll have to look. But that's
second down and 6.
Actually, it looks like Adam Hawkins is at the right guard.
I mean at left guard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Callahan takes it forward for another first down, all the way up to the 38-yard line, 39-yard line. So a gain of 8
First down gain by the Vikings
for West will bring it up to the. So that looks like that is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jacob Porritt, who's in there at left guard, I think, number 59. Is that
Brady Huff, maybe? Is it 50?
We'll have to look there and see which 59 or 56. 56. Yep.
Boy, Gilliard.
He's running hard, isn't he?
That's Brady. Yeah, that's Brady Huff at left guard.
Yeah, 56.
There. Yeah, number 56. Gilliard runs hard all the way up to the. We'll give him the 34-yard line, a gain of 5. Nice gain on first down there.
No, that's exactly what we talked about. You know, you put yourself in such a better position to open up your offense when you can get a first down gain of 4, 5, 6 yards. Now it'll be interesting. It's almost a perfect time to kind of set up the pass. You've kind of been setting up this run.
Mr. Officials.
So there's the give again, right up the middle.
That's close to a first, isn't it?
That will be a first down all the way down to the 28-yard line. Is that Cadillo on the carry right there down to the 28?
I'm not sure who that was. I think it was the fullback, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Cadillo.
I think Cadillo is running fullback again. They're mixing those three around, Cadillo and Kenny and we'll see. We're gonna have a little bit of break here. Looks like the scoreboard's back. 5:22 left right now. We'll see if that's right. West took over.
What are
started
they
this
discussing right here?
West started this possession with 7:32 on the clock. If that's the case, we've only ran 2 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock as we've gone, which would be interesting.
Which we haven't gone out of bounds or thrown the ball.
We've had 8 running plays, and I'd be surprised if
and we're not quick snapping them.
I'd be surprised if only 2 minutes and 10 seconds to run off the clock in 8 running plays for West.
Well, and isn't the line judge? I'm sorry. One of the refs obviously keeps a clock on the field, and I don't know which referee does, but So I'm sure that's what they're doing to try to relay up to the box what the official clock is. Because, like you said, I don't think 5:22 is correct.
My guess is 5:22 is what's on the clock when the clock went down. It should be closer to about probably 3 minutes, maybe 3:15 is my guess. Somewhere between 3 and 3.5 minutes at the most. We'll see what it is. So we'll try to relay times as we know. They are keeping time on the field right now as the scoreboard has gone out here.
Well, when it came back on, it was 6:07. So I don't know. Now it's at 5:22.
And it's still not going. They just started the clock, the game clock, but the refs are keeping that. So 1st and 10 for West. There's the give to Kinney, who's in the fullback position again. He's going to take it up to the 25-yard line. So a gain of 3 on that play by Kinney. Bring up a 2nd and 7. Now the clock's going. It's at 5:03. I honestly not sure that that's a correct time because, again, guys, we're 9 running plays into a drive that started at 7:32. I can't believe that we've only taken 2.5 minutes off the clock. But we'll keep going here and see what they do. Callahan to look for in the air for his first play of the game. And Wesley Clark, it's touchdown.
Dang it.
Nice play. A 25-yard touchdown catch by Wesley Clark from C.J. Callahan with, okay.
Oh, you're kidding me. How?
Elite
Chop
block on West. So that's going to be taken off.
And that's what we can't afford to do tonight, Dave. You know, come up with a big play, you dialed it up. It was a perfect opportunity for it. You've been setting them up with run. You got an isolation with Wesley Clark out here. And beautiful pass by CJ. Wesley Clark goes up and receives the ball with his hands just like you want him to. Beautiful play, now negated by a chop block. And the thing is, you're going to see a lot of that because what's going to happen is you're going to see so many guys flying in gaps, but these guys just have to be disciplined. They can't engage. They can't chop somebody when someone else is engaged with the block.
Coach Callahan's really not happy. He's given the umpire an earful right there. Both the umpire and the referee. He's given them an earful of what he thinks of that call right there, and that's going to be a 10-yard penalty for the chop block. It's going to take it back to
15 at least, isn't it?
Actually, that was a 15-yard penalty.
Right.
It takes it back to the 39-yard line. So, yeah, it's a 15-yard penalty on that.
Do it again.
So it'll bring up second and 21, and there's offsides on Gardner. So we'll get 5 of that 15 yards back.
Now this 16's playing way off on Wesley. Just throw him a quick one and make a move, get by him. Because the safety's not helping over here at all.
No, they cheat up a lot. I mean, that's part of their defense.
Because watch, before the ball's even snapped, this kid starts backpedaling. Hey, that'll work.
Nice carry by Kinney all the way up to the 20. We'll give it the 24-yard line. And listen to the coaches here in the box next to us. I don't think they're very happy about that chop block call because it looks like it was just a play where the offensive lineman just pushed him down and made the call. Did not have a chop block. That's what Callahan was talking to the refs about. There's a give straight ahead to Cadillo. He's going to get down to the 22-yard line, so a gain of 2. That's going to bring up a fourth and 3. And, guys, I have no idea why there's 3:30 left on the clock. I know we had a couple penalties here, but we're on our 12th play. We're on 12-play drive.
Right.
So there's the give to Gilliard. He's getting around the edge, and he's got it, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the...
That kid's all pumped up after he gained 6 yards.
So Gilliard gets up to the 16-yard line. We'll see if they get to the 17-yard line or 17-yard line, but that's a gain of 5, and it's a first down for West.
Yeah, back to what you were saying about the clock, Dave. The interesting part about it is two good things are happening. You have a great drive by West, and you're keeping the ball away from Gardner-Edgerton, which is exactly what you want to do.
Absolutely. Then Callahan tried to keep it around the left side. He's going to be taken down for a loss.
Yeah, and you got Moore on the sack, and you also have Robertson in there. And again, they do so much crashing down. And this is where it would be fun to kind of catch them off guard, throw something over the middle, because they really vacate that middle where the linebackers are, and you got one safety back there.
Yeah, but if CJ has like another second, he probably pitches it to Trayvon. It's probably a touchdown.
There's a penalty. Let's see.
Got to be a procedure. No.
Offside. Oh, that's the wrong.
Yeah.
That's the wrong call for the offense. So
how long has he been doing this?
That's the wrong call. That's a defensive call, not an offensive call. But
I was hoping he just pointed the wrong direction, but obviously not. So.
Unless we actually had a
guy
receiver or somebody line off offsides, but I'm not sure that was the case. Anyway, it's going to be a 5-yard penalty and bring up a 2nd and 17 now at the 24-yard line.
5-yard penalty, 2nd and 17.
There's the carry. Callahan's going to take ahead to the 15-yard line for a gain of 4. It's going to bring up a big
third and 13.
Yeah, and I think where we are and the way you're, moving the ball, I think you're in 4-down territory anyway. So, I mean, I'm not looking to get all that back right now. I'm looking to get it close. I don't think in a game like this you're going to kick field goals. I think you're going to be going for touchdowns.
Yeah, this is 2 downs right here. So there's the give to Gilliard right up the middle. He's going to take it down to about the 16, 17. They're going to mark it at the 17-yard line. So back to the original line of scrimmage here. And it'll be 4th and 10 from the 17-yard line. And obviously, yeah, I don't see West trying to kick a 34-yard field goal here. They're going to be going for it here on 4th down.
Absolutely. So you're bringing Wesley Clark in, which obviously you'd like to see him out there with his hands. And that doesn't mean we're going to pass, but you definitely need him on the field. If anything, it has them thinking pass.
And they're going to go, if they're doing it, they're going to ISO Wesley out on the right side. He's the only back. You got Gleese as a wing on the left side. There's the give to Kenny, the pitch to Kenny, and he's taken down at the 18-yard line, a loss of 1. And
throw it in the end zone or something, huh?
So West will give it over on downs after a 17-play drive that started at West Zone 26. I think it took a little bit more than 6.5 minutes, but with 1:09 left on the clock, Gardner will take over at their own 17-yard line. And there's the give to Hunsberger, and he's going to take it up for 3 yards to the 20. And guys, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that he takes it for 3 yards, but I think I might be saying that all night long, but it's successful.
I was thinking the exact same thing before you even said it. I was thinking, how many times are we going to hear that tonight? Hunsberger for 3.
Well, and he's only about a foot and a half behind the quarterback, so it's quick. It's boom. He's got the ball.
Well, the interesting part, too, is hard to pick him up. I mean, if you're a linebacker, you don't even see him back there. He's so tight to the quarterback.
Looked like there was some movement there, but no call. Tevin McKelvey's going to take it all the way up to the 38-yard line and a first down.
Wow, and it's funny, Dave, because we heard the same thing coming from the coach's box next door. It sure appeared like Hunsberger and was leaning forward on that and moving. But
so a gain of 8 on there by McKelvey. Give him 9. They give them all actually up to the 29-yard line, not the 28-yard line. And
looks like
we have a injured West player there. So with 28.5 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, there is a official's timeout for the injury as Porritt comes off the field.
which looks good. At least they were checking out his ankle, and he came walking off on his own power. So that looks promising.
Christian Coggs, I believe, number 63. He's not listed with a grade. He's probably a freshman or a sophomore in there, taking Porrett's spot there.
It's a way to grow up against this defense, huh,
Absolutely.
Dave? Our offense.
So it'll be a 1st and 10. There's the give to Jennings. He's going to try to take it around the right side. Nice tackle by Wesley Clark.
And I'd say that's going to be the only way you bring that kid. You know, for a tall guy, he actually runs low. I mean, you'll see him put his shoulder down. He's looking to run over those D-backs and try to break free.
So that's the end of the first quarter, and Gardner-Edgerton's up 7-0. We'll be right back after this timeout. We're back here for the start of the second quarter. There's the
for 3 yards.
Carry up. You can just record me there. I'm just going to go home. Say the carry for 3 yards. Is that Hunsberger taking it up?
And then you go Jennings for 12.
Yeah.
And then.
So.
Uh-oh. Oh, was it first down? Son of a.
That was first down.
Oh, because it was. What, 2nd and 1?
Oh, I thought McKelvey had actually had a first down on that Jennings had a first down on that last play, but they give him the first down there. And there's the give to Martinez. He's going to take it. He's got ahead of steam. He got that, or Rodriguez.
Yeah.
A.J. Rodriguez hit that around the side quickly, and he got it going.
28.
And he's going to take it all the way up to the west 42-yard line. So a gain of 17.
Well, it's funny. Just when you thought they had enough horses, and they bring another one in to the stable. So.
So there's the pass, and that's one of our first passes for the.
He didn't catch that.
Pass from McKelvey.
How did 3 guys not see that he didn't catch that?
Complete.
Because that catch is going to go to Tyler Getzman.
I see why they don't throw it.
Yeah, Getzman takes it up to the 43-yard line, or the 37-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 5. Yeah. 42. They marked it at 38. So gain of 4 for Getzman there on that on that pass. So
I was watching that on the replay, and we do finally get a replay up, and it did look like it hit the ground.
Yeah.
And there's the carry straight ahead. Hunsberger is going to take it ahead to the 33-yard line, so a gain of 5. And that'll be a
injury timeout.
Is that Trayvon?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, that's not one guy you can lose on either side of the ball. Looks like he may have a shoulder. He's holding that left arm. 10-11 left to go here in the first half. We do have our timeouts, our replay up. Replay is not going to be perfect picture, but it'll show you something. It won't be probably as crisp as the other one. At least you'll know it's a replay or not. So we do have a replay going here. So a 3rd and 1 for Gardner-Edgerton. 10-10 left to go here in the first half. McKelvey gives to Jennings as Jennings going to take it right up. I tell you what, when he gets ahead of steam, he twisted weird there. He gets down to the 20-yard line, but when he gets ahead of steam, he goes there quickly.
He hits the hole at full speed, doesn't he? He gets up to speed very quickly. Well, and part of that for coming out of the wing, you're getting a kind of a head start. So it does, by the time you get receive the ball, you are kind of at full speed.
So a gain down to the 19, a 14-yard gain for Jennings down to the west 19-yard line, and they'll have another first down there. 1st and 10, 9:45 left to go here in the first half.
Are you sure there's 9:45, Dave?
That I know of. Yeah, I think so.
Quarterback.
McKelvey's going to keep it. He's going to cut up field. There's going to be a penalty. So we may have. It's either going to be a block in the back or an illegal chop. Actually, they were downfield. We'll see if they call an illegal chop or a block in the back. It's going to be a hold. So that was a hold right around the 16-yard line. So it was downfield for their yard. So it'll be a gain of 3 for actually a touchdown wiped out for McKelvey, and it'll be a loss. The penalty takes it back to the 26-yard line. So basically a 7-yard penalty.
Line of scrimmage now for 26. Where the Blazers have it first down.
1st and 17 at the 26-yard line. 9.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. McKelvey now with an offset eye. There's the pitch to Jennings. Nice block off the side. Jennings going to take it right up the middle, and he's got it. Well blocked guys off the side, and Jennings is good at seeing his hole and picking it and going up there when he gets it.
Right, and it's just a perfect example of that execution. Bringing Jennings off the right wing and just lead blocking the fullback, the wing back, everybody. And also give Jennings some credit, because once he got into the open field, he's pretty quick and pretty shifty.
So Jennings with a 26-yard run caps a 9-play drive for Gardner. Caleb Calvin tacks on the extra point. It's 14-0 right now. 9:23 left to go. We'll be right back after this timeout.
Play 73-yard drive capped by Jennings' run.
Back for the kick here. And West will return that kickoff up to the 36-yard line. Looks like number 28, Mike Williamson, with the kick return. So good field position here for West to start this drive at the 36-yard line. Only the second possession for West this half as we start there's 9:19 left to go.
And kind of like we talked about earlier is, we need to do the long sustained drive to keep their offense off the field, because again, they're going to chew up a lot of clock. We just need another drive like we had the last time, Dave. Just need to finish it off this time.
Kenny's going to take it around, maybe get a yard. really probably no gain there.
Number 54.
And then again, 54, that Robertson. I mean, you're going to see Robertson, Pritchard. You're going to see these guys,
2nd down and 9.
you know, rushing the A gaps. They're going to try to cut through there. That's, again, they're going to vacate the middle. It'd be nice if somehow there's a way to attack that. Either that or lead block through there, get them out of there, and then once you get into the second, right there, once you get into the second layer, there's a lot of room out there.
A nice gain up to the 42-yard line by Joseph Cadillo. Gain of 6. Bring up a 3rd and 3 for West, and something they really need to convert here after being down 14-0 here in this first half.
That's what I was thinking. This is really kind of a must-need conversion on this 3rd down.
C.J. Callahan will give to Cadillo. He's going to take it forward for the first down. He gets to the 46-yard line. Nice job of moving his legs and just not being deterred to get that first down.
Yeah.
So a gain of 4 by Cadillo there.
I'd say 79 might be a little hard to get out of the way.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
Yeah, he is.
We just need about an 8-minute drive from this point.
Yeah, Peyton Vance is 5'9", 277, so he's one of those guys in the middle that they keep right there, and then they move around the other people.
Oh, interference, sir.
Looks like Will Humphreys got caught up there on that pass. It was intended for him, but couldn't quite get there. And it'll be incomplete. And it'll be 2nd down at the West 46-yard line. So there's the give to Kenny, who's in at fullback again. He's going to take it ahead for 3. We'll get 2 to the 48-yard line. So,
and Peyton Vance came down on top of Kenny there, so there was a little disparity between those two guys.
So 7.5 minutes left to go here in the first half, and we just said 3 plays ago, this is another big 3rd down, a 3rd and 8.
So he just traded a 5'9", 277 guy for a 5'9", 5'11", 277 guy. So he just gained 2 inches.
So third and 8 here. Callahan's back to pass, and he's going out to Cadillo. He's got it, and he's going to be short of the first down. He's going to be out at the 46-yard line, bring up a 4th and 2. And guys, with a 14-0 deficit, I see them going for this here.
There's no reason not to. You know, again, you're 0-7. You're going against a 7-0 team. You're kidding yourself if you think you're gonna hold these guys down at points. You got to keep the ball, and you got to keep this drive alive.
6:40 left to go here in the first half. Callahan under center. He's going to go forward, and he's going to have that first down. He's all the way up to the 43-yard line. Well,
the near side, the far side.
The far side guy is the guy who should have the spot, because it was on the far. It was on that side of the center, and that's where it was. But they're spotting at the 44-yard line. Still a first down, a 2-yard gain for Callahan on 4th down. Bring up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. There's the give to Kenny. He's going to take it up to the 40.
Number 26, Kenny with the carry.
And I really like this. I like this utilization of Kenny, David. It's doing a couple things. First of all, you got a different guy in there. Secondly, it spells Gilliard a little time, and he doesn't have to carry the brunt of the load for the offense, especially when he's playing both sides of the ball.
Just under 6 minutes left to go here in the first half. 14-0 Gardner. West is driving, though. They're down to their 40-yard line, to the Gardner 40-yard line. Callahan's looking for nice catch there.
Wesley.
Really nice catch by Wesley Clark, because he was open. CJ led him a little bit too much towards the sideline, but
if he would have hit him on the run, he might have.
Wesley made a really nice catch there at the 33-yard line, a gain of 7 and a first down. So a 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. We're coming on the 10th play of this possession for West. There's the pitch to Kenny. He's going to try to take it around the right side. He gets down to the 30-yard line. So a gain of 3.
Ball carrier. Number 7, Pritchard, and 38 combining for the tackle. That is May. 2 yards gained on the play. It is second down and 8 to go.
You know, it's funny. I look at the play clock, Dave, and I almost think you treat this like you're ahead in the game from the standpoint of you want to take up as much clock as you can and run the play clock down to down to nothing.
Absolutely.
Right.
There's the give to Cadillo straight ahead, and he twists for about 2.
32, Cadillo.
It's funny. I'm watching these line judges. They're off by a yard each side.
Right,
one will go on one side, one will come in the other side.
Tackle for the Blazers.
So that's only a gain of 1 there for Cadillo. I thought he got down to the 28, but they're going to spot him at the 29. One line judge had the 28, one had the 29. And the thing is, the one that had the 28, I think that's his call because the ball was to this side.
Right.
The back was to the guy who marked the 29. So anyway, here we go. Callahan's going to throw it. And nice catch by
All
Wesley
day.
Clark.
They can't guard him.
Yeah.
Wesley Clark takes it all the way down to the 14-yard line of Gardner-Edgerton for a nice.
Reynolds making the tackle. First and 10.
And this is where I think there's some opportunity there as long as you keep the pressure off CJ. Wesley Clark's doing a nice job of he does a nice job of utilizing his body and separating himself from the defender and taking the ball in.
So a 15-yard gain all the way down to the 14-yard line. Kenny's going to try to sneak up in the middle, and he gets to about the 13. So a gain of 1 by Kenny right there.
And there's Pritchard again. You know, you're going to get that double dose. You're going to get Pritchard, and you're going to get Robertson, and they're just going to switch. And these guys are going to continue to shoot the gap all night.
So a gain of 1 down to the 13-yard line.
Second and 9.
Second and 9, 3.5 minutes left to go here in the first half. Callahan,
there we go.
They moved and we moved. We'll see who gets first. They do call.
Full start on the offense, 5 yards.
We had him too.
West. They had him. So unfortunate 5-yard penalty there for West. And you know, the bad thing is here, guys, that's been 2 long drives where West has got down and then had penalties. Now, they were able to overcome the last penalty and get down to the first down, and they eventually gave it over on downs, but a couple of costly penalties in there.
And here's where, just get it back in chunks. We don't need to get it back in one big play. Now, it's interesting, CJ out of the shotgun for the first time tonight.
He's going to roll to his left. He's looking there. And he's got Will Humphreys who catches it.
Is complete along the sideline.
Will Humphreys is
5.
down to the 9-yard line.
It's
see if they mark it at 9 or the 8.
Or the 8, maybe.
Yeah, they're going to mark it at the 8. So a gain of 10
being recognized at halftime.
There, and it'll bring up a
Make your way onto the track.
3rd and 4. 3rd and 3, really. They only need to get to the 5. Kenny's going to sneak up the middle. He's got a touchdown.
There you go.
Nice job. Adam Kenny with an 8-yard run with 2:54 left to go. Caps off a 15-play, 64-yard drive for West. And it's 14-6 right now. Gardner-Edgerton pending the extra point from Ruben Anderson.
And this is exactly the recipe for us to attack these guys, Dave. Hit it with their dose of their own medicine. Just control the clock, keep their offense off the field, go down, execute, and score.
Mike, one thing you were talking about is why turnovers are so important here. If you get a turnover, because may have only 8 to 10 possessions. Right now we're going on. West has had 2 possessions, and Gardner's going to have a 3rd in this half.
I know, isn't that crazy?
It's gone pretty quick.
Usually you factor in like 8 to 10 possessions a game, but with these 2 offenses, exactly. When you control the clock for 6 minutes,
just inside the left upright, there's going to be a personal foul also on Gardner-Edgerton. So the extra point is good. There's going to be a personal foul roughing the kicker.
Move that up on the kickoff.
This should be moved up on the kickoff.
Do you ever block an extra point? Why are you
14-7? Gardner-Edgerton with 2:54 left to go here. We'll be right back after this timeout.
PAT by
We're back here for the kick. The Shawnee Mission West kickoff after that personal foul. They must have just called running into the kicker instead of roughing the kicker. So instead of a 15-yard penalty, West is going to kick off after a 5-yard penalty from their 45-yard line. And
well, you want to kick this out of the end zone, or try to, right?
yeah, and I tell you what, guys, 2:54 left to go here in the first half. West ever needed to stop, this would be a great time to have a stop. Anderson with the kick. It's going to be kicked to the 10-yard, and it's taken around to the 26-yard line, a 16-yard return by number 5, Drew Casita.
Gage Jones
with the tackle. And I think it's Cassida, not Casita. It's Cassida, as I heard in the pregame introductions. Couple of looks like not twins. They're brothers. Senior and a sophomore. Drew, the one who returned that, is the sophomore. So 2:48 left to go. There's the give to Jennings. Jennings trying to take it around the right side.
Yeah, and that's what you want to do. I mean, in this situation, Dave, I'm telling my defense, gang tackle and hang on as long as you can. Let's let the clock run and make it run while this guy's trying to get up underneath a pile of West defenders.
So a gain of 5 by Jennings. Jennings carries 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 from the 32-yard line. McKelvey's trying to keep it around the side, and he gets spun down around the 35-yard line. So a gain of 3 for McKelvey, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 2 for Gardner-Edgerton. And yeah, we talked about it. We've got a number 34 in there for West, who I believe is a freshman. He's not on the he's playing linebacker right now. So the fullback, McKelvey, goes straight up the middle for a first down to the 40-yard line. So
they might want to hurry up a little bit.
Well, and it's interesting. I thought the same thing, Chris. Is that
they have 3 timeouts
they got
still,
3
right?
timeouts, and they're still going back to a huddle each time.
So
guess they're counting on a big hitter.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. 1:30 left to go here in the first half. McKelvey's going to pitch it to Jennings, and he's trying to get outside.
Holding.
There's going to be a hold around the side. So that's going to be a nice gain all the way up to the 47-yard line, brought back by a penalty around the 44-yard line. So it'll be back to the 34-yard line.
Yeah, you got Huntsberger and you also have Rodriguez both upset. So I don't know, one of them, I assume one of them got called for that.
Like I said, guys, this sort of watching their offense reminds me a little bit of Shawnee Mission East in 2013. That first year that they did it, the first year that they ran it, you could see they have a good scheme and everything, but they're not just quite there yet. They're still not quite totally fluid in this offense.
Which is scary when they're averaging over 400 yards rushing. And,
absolutely.
And they're not quite fluid yet.
But that's the same way East was. East was good, and they grounded out in that first year, and then they got really, really good those second, third, fourth years.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's the give to Jennings, who's trying to take it around the right side, and he's going to get up to the 41-yard line. So a gain of 7 by Jennings.
Blew it on the tackle on that one, I think.
And again, Chris, to your point, the clock's ticking. I think.
Well, as we saw earlier, they can't. I don't think they can throw the ball. That's why they.
Well, no, but they still could hurry up. You still think. I mean, this offense doesn't have a lot of plays,
and it's
kind of left and right, left and right.
And if they want to, they do have the ability to get wide and get out of bounds.
Right.
So there's the carry by McKelvey. Nice job by Wesley Clark to trip him up at the 49-yard line. A yard
quarterback
short.
talks crap after
yard and a half short of the first down. So a gain of 8
and they finally
by McKelvey up to the 49-yard line. It's going to bring up a good. It's about. It says 3rd and 2. It's really about 3rd and about a little over a yard.
Well,
but a big play here with 39 seconds left in the first half.
It's so weird. It's almost as if they're content with this lead because, again, you're only leaving yourselves 38 seconds.
He's sending his ass off the field. He's bringing in the backup quarterback. Oh.
So McKelvey's down off the field right now, and it looks like Tyler Getzman is coming in. And I believe Getzman is the second leading passer on the. I don't know. Second leading passer. He's got
with 82 yards on the year. 8
attempts. Three completions, 8 attempts, 45 yards. So I don't know if you call him your passing quarterback, but he's only thrown the ball 8 times so far this year.
Well, the one thing you got to be conscious of is Brody Marshall, number 8, is 6'6" on the outside, and so obviously if you're going to throw, he's the guy you want to throw to.
And West against this defense goes back to that sort of 3-5, 5-3 look with just 3 defensive backs. And that was the one thing, again, with East. We talked about this before the game. You had to be so conscious of them throwing the ball because they did have the ability to go. They always had a guy who could throw the ball a decent amount, throw it deep, and go over the top.
Right.
And that's why it puts so much pressure on that safety back there because you want to come in and you want to help on the run game, but you can't get beat over the top.
And that's where we talk about the discipline, right? You got to play. You got to play your position. You got to play your responsibilities first, and you can't be too quick to try to come up and make tackle. I think what just happened, Dave, is I think they called timeout. They called the captains together, and I think they're getting a little chippy out there, and I think they're trying to slow them down a little bit.
So Getzman under center with 39 seconds left.
There's
balls on the ground. And Getzman gets back on it. There's still the clock is going though. We'll see if
I guess they're
Gardner's
going to let it run out.
Gardner's not going to call a timeout now unless they call one for one last play. So that's a fumble. Ball's down at the 45-yard line.
Well, interesting, too, and back to Chris's comment, maybe they did pull the quarterback out. Maybe they pulled McKelvey out because there was some talk going on.
Well, he's been jawing after every play with us.
And then you bring in a new quarterback, so it's not surprising that all of a sudden you have a handoff problem, with a new quarterback.
7-point ball game going into the second half.
I'll tell you, if you told us we were going to be 14-7 at the end of the first half, I would have said, hot dog, that's the best I could ask for.
So we're at the end of the first half, and it's 14-7 Gardner-Edgerton as time runs out on their drive. We'll be right back after this timeout. we'll show the Gardner-Edgerton band here at halftime. We'll leave us off and just have the field mic going and let you enjoy the Gardner-Edgerton band here at halftime.
Abby is escorted by Dee Dee Payne and Bruce Payne. Haley Roberts, who is escorted by Christina Roberts, Dwayne and Stephanie Roberts. And our final cheerleader this evening, Anaya Willard. Anaya is escorted by Lynetta Willard and Eric Willard.
Are you ready to listen? Are we watching?
And now our band seniors and their parents. Riley Buck. Riley is escorted by Michael and Rochelle Buck. Jack Byard. Jack is escorted by Christine and Andrew Byard. Juliana Cordero. Juliana is escorted by Kelly Cordero. Aaron Krim. Aaron is escorted by Stephen Krim. Hope Gary. Hope is escorted by Richard and Shayna Gary.
Ready, some band? Amanda's on the band.
Colton Goodman. Colton is escorted by Rochelle and Dennis Goodman. Katie Long. Katie is escorted by Aria and Brian Long. Samantha Marcotte. She is escorted by Cheryl and Steve Marcotte. Blaine Minahan. Blaine is escorted by Dana Minahan. Logan Perales. Logan is escorted by Tyra and Marty Perales. Alec Rodriguez. Alec is escorted by Amanda Walsh. Nathaniel Sawchek. He is escorted by Jennifer and Timothy Sawchek. Brianna Shelton. Brianna is escorted by Bill and Janet Shelton. Anthony Thornton. Anthony is escorted by Lily and Kevin Havner.
No. You are not listening. You don't get that. Where's Michael? Michael?
And Amanda and Amber Vega, escorted by Tina and Omar Vega. Unable to be with us tonight, but definitely we want to recognize Keenan Davidson, whose parents, Keenan and Rachel Davidson, and Joanne Wiss, along with parents Terry and Russell Wiss. Trailblazer fans, at this time, let us please thank and recognize our hardworking dance team seniors, cheerleading seniors, band seniors, and their parents for those early mornings, long weekends, competitions, practices, you name it, the spirit behind Trailblazer athletics throughout our school for the last 4 years. Thank you so much for representing GHS and our community in such fine fashion. And as our band prepares for a performance and our seniors take their places, an announcement. Far and wide, many have tried, but the commitment to excellence always resides in Blazer Nation. They are the spirit and pride of Gardner-Edgerton High School. Please welcome the 2018-2019 edition of your Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazer Marching Band. The Gardner-Edgerton Band is under the field direction of Assistant Drum Majors Aaron Krim, Tate Allen, and Head Drum Major Katie Long. Color Guard captains are Emily Gardner and Brianna Shelton. Autumn Green is the color guard coach, assisted by Taylor Nimachek, and the Blazer dance team coach is Ashley Shalotnik, assisted by Elena Harvey. The band recently performed at the ESU Marching Festival, receiving 1 ratings in marching technique and general effect. Tonight, the band will be playing the finale to their Tommy Show, Pinball Wizard. And drum majors, the field is yours. Gardner-Edgerton Blazer Marching Band. We hope you enjoyed the halftime performance of the Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazer Marching Band. Special thanks to the Gardner-Edgerton faculty, staff, and administration. We appreciate the extraordinary efforts made by our students, our parents, and our staff who helped make this year's band a success. And we would also like to thank Dave and Kim Fesenmeyer at Sign Here for printing the band's senior posters hanging on the south fence.
And we're at halftime here in Gardner, Kansas, with the Gardner-Edgerton Trailblazers up 14-7 on the West Vikings. We'll have stats here in a little while, but here's how the scoring went in the first half. And only 2 drives for West, 3 drives for Gardner. Gardner started the game and went 73 yards in 9 plays. A McKelvey 3-yard run with 7:41 made it 7-0. West took the ball over at 7:32 left to go in the first quarter. Drove all the way down from their own 26-yard line to the Gardner 18-yard line. 17 plays. Turned it over on downs there where they weren't able to convert on 4th down. So Gardner took it over actually on their 17-yard line with 1:09 left to go in the first quarter. They drove down 10 plays and ended with a 26-yard Jennings TD run that made it 14-0. And that's how the first quarter actually, that was with 9:23 left to go into the second quarter in the first half. West then took the time. West then took the ball. 9:01 left to go in the first half at their own 36-yard line, and drove it 64 yards for a touchdown in 15 plays. An 8-yard run by Andrew Kinney with 2:54 left to go in the first half, and the Reuben Anderson extra point made it 14-7. Gardner did get the ball back with 2:52 left to go in the first half and ran 7 plays, but time ran out in the first half after a fumble at around midfield. Gardner just took the rest of the time off the clock. So that's where it is right now, 14-7. Gardner-Edgerton up. West will get the kickoff to start the second half. And again, we'll be right back after this timeout. And here's some of the stats for the first half. As we probably know, it's Gardner, which drove it, which is interesting. The first downs are very even. You know, West had 2 drives of one of 18 plays and one of 15 plays for the touchdown, sort of methodically driving down the field. Score 14-7, Gardner-Edgerton on top. West with the pretty even total offense, as you'd guess, with the 2 long drives by both teams. West got a little bit of advantage in the passing game, where really on that one drive they didn't score. They did have a touchdown that was brought back by a chop block that may or may not have been. Yeah, it's probably questionable, but you know, West doing a pretty good job here of on offense and not bad on defense. What you would sort of expect from Gardner-Edgerton is a pretty methodical drive down the field, 3-4 yards at a time, maybe a big play every once in a while, but they really haven't had a lot of those big plays other than probably the 26-yard touchdown run.
No, I mean, it's exactly what you would expect out of Gardner-Edgerton. I mean, no passing. 188 yards, so I mean they're basically right on pace to be right where they are with the rushing game.
Yep.
Scoring 2 touchdowns, which is pretty typical because they're averaging 30-some points a game. So just what you'd expect. Now the thing you like what you see out of West is they're they're running with them. I mean, the only difference, Dave, is that when we got down inside the 10, we didn't execute. We tripped up. We had, like you said, the West coaches would say a questionable chop block is really the difference in this game. What was really interesting to me, though, was at the end of the first half where Gardner-Edgerton just kind of shut it down and said, you know what, we're happy with where we're at. We're going to go to the locker room at 14-7. Now, come down to the clock this half where Gardner-Edgerton gets the ball first. So, because, again, we were talking about these possessions.
West gets the ball first.
West gets the ball
yes.
first. Oh, okay.
West won the toss but deferred, so
okay.
West will get the ball to start this half, which is big because
my mistake.
So they have a chance with a nice drive to tie this game up. And, you know, the one thing, guys, as we've been talking about this whole year, really other than the Olathe East game, West has been a first-half team and really has not been able to do much of anything in the second half. It cost them last week in the game against North when they only got the one touchdown. They punted 3 or 4 times. They really need to come out and make something happen here in the second half.
And I agree with you. And I think, and the only thing I saw in the stats that just we talked about before the game is I'd like to see a little bit more balanced offense, because I think the last couple of weeks the success they had was when they opened up the passing game a little more. What we saw in the first half on some of the plays that they did come out with passing plays, they were pretty successful. I mean, I don't know what the execution was. They're 4 for 5 on pass plays. So, again, there's an opportunity there. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to keep the pressure off C.J. Callahan, give him some time to get rid of that ball. But there's an opportunity. The other side of me says, I don't want to go up top too much because I want to control the clock, because the more I control the clock, the more I keep Gardner-Edgerton off the field.
So we're about ready. Actually, they just put 2 minutes back on the clock here before the second half, as West is still running to get stretched out of here a little bit. But yeah, you know, the one thing is, other than West, where they sort of went up top a little bit on that one touchdown that got called back, most of everything slant out. It wasn't
Cadillo out of the backfield.
Yeah, Cadillo out of the backfield. There had four completions, and most of them were thrown within 5 to 10 to 15 yards. Other than like I said, the one to Wesley that got called back, it was over the top. So they're doing it in a ball controlled style, at least when they go up top.
No, and I think it's very smart and like you said, it's a very controlled approach to it, because you're seeing isolation on the wide receivers, and then you have a single safety. You got a single free safety who's really playing far to the middle of the field, I think almost too much, and you're not getting that over the top help. So two things are happening. You're getting some open, and with the linebackers, Dave, crashing so much and so hard, they're not dropping back in coverage, and that slant's available because they're not in the way of the slant.
The other thing is, we rolled out a couple of times, but for the most part, the thing I like, and we've talked about, they kept CJ in the pocket and back, and nothing really long. Just keeping in the pocket, give him time to throw, and he's hitting his receivers here. So we'll see Wesley Clark and Will Humphreys back to return this kick, as West will receive the kick to start the second half. And a big half of football. Again, 14-7. The clock stopped with, clock stopped with 8.5 seconds left. We had some clock issues. That's the other thing, guys. I'll be surprised if that first half wasn't actually longer than it should have been, because not a lot of time came off the clock in that first drive that West had that was 18 plays long. So there's a pooch. It's going to be taken by Sebastian Garcia at the 3, and nice, basically almost like an onside kick. And West is going to have great field position at their own 45-yard line.
Something tells me West obviously picked that up on film, because just the positioning, the way Garcia was positioned out there, and nice job of getting the ball. Hey, decided advantage for West now. You got a short field, and it's kind of the recipe that you want to stay in this game.
And that's, the great thing. I wonder if Gardner, because they didn't have a lot of possessions, wanted to try to get a possession back there.
Sure.
Kenny doesn't have much room to run. He's going to actually lose a yard back to the 45-yard line. So
Brown making the tackle.
a loss of 1 on first down. And Kenny's in there at tailback, and we saw Trayvon a little dinged up there maybe in the first half, and Cadillo and Kenny are back there in the backfield right now. There's the give to Cadillo. Is going to take it forward to about the 47-yard line, so he gets 2 back there, but it'll be a big third and 9 play here.
Yeah, I think this is real important, kind of back to your initial point, Dave, about
32.
I don't want to call it the second half fade, but just the inability to score in the second half. The last thing you want to do, you got a great field position. You don't want to start off with your first possession and go 3 and out. You just really need to convert this third down play.
3rd and 9. Callahan's rolling to his left. He's being chased out of the pocket. He's got a man, but he throws behind him. Not sure if he would have been able to pick up the first down. Cadillo tries to hit Cadillo at about the 48-yard line, 47-yard line. Would have been about 2 or 3 yards, and that would have been hard for him to turn upfield trying to reach back to make that catch.
The sad thing about that play was it looked like Lease was open originally, DJ, and I think maybe just CJ getting chased a little bit. He had to wait to declare a little bit before he get rid of the ball. Then all of a sudden Gleason is covered up. Now he's got to go the underneath guy.
Right.
Well, that was the antithesis of every possession we had in the first half on both teams. Both teams very long drives. This is the first 3 and out you're going to see tonight. Anderson back, standing at his 32-yard line, ready to kick this ball away. There's the snap and the punt. Wobbly punt. It's going to take a nice west bounce all the way down inside almost to the 10-yard line. It's going to be down at the 11-yard line. So
down near the 11-yard line.
A nice
The 12.
the 12-yard line. So a 41-yard punt by Reuben Anderson. And Gardner-Edgerton will take over at their own 12-yard line with 10:40 left to go here in the third quarter. And we'll see.
You do have McKelvey back.
McKelvey is, I was going to say, McKelvey's back in there at running back. The give right up the middle. And that's Hunsbarger taking it right up the middle again for 8 up to the 20-yard line.
The Farwells have donated all of that.
You know, it's funny. You made the call in the first play of the game. You thought it was the wing guy who had the ball. I'd like the same thing. I'm watching him run right at me. I swear he has the ball, and all of a sudden, and there's Hunsberger up the middle. So, I can imagine why these guys have so much trouble shutting down this offense.
So 2nd and 2 from the 20-yard line, 21-yard line. There's the give to Jennings, who is back in there. He dinged up an ankle a little bit in the first half, but he's back in there, and he takes it up to the 32-yard line. So a gain of 12.
Speaking of dinged up, Dave, I've got to believe that Gilliard has got more of an injury than we thought he did, because he's not out there playing linebacker, and he obviously hasn't been playing on offense. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope he's not hurt. I'm going to take a look on the sidelines, see if we can figure out what's going on with Gilliard.
So Richard and Maldonado in there at the middle linebacker positions for West. There's the carry around the corner by McKelvey, who's going to take it up to the 40-yard line. He'll be down there at the 40-yard line with a gain of 8.
Okay, Dave, I just got my answer. I see Gilliard over on the sidelines on the bench in sweats and a sweatshirt, so I don't think that he's coming back.
Be back on tonight. That's like we said, that's a huge loss on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
So 9 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 2 from the 40-yard line. There's the give straight ahead to Hunsbarger.
Number 11, Hunsberger.
He's going to take it up to the 45-yard line for a first down, a gain of 5. Tell you what, this half, a little bit more chunks that Gardner's getting here. 8, 12, 8, and 5. A little bit bigger than that 3 yards at a time from they were doing last quarter or last half. 9:45 left, or 8:45 left to go here in the third quarter, and there's going to be a penalty. That's going to be on number 50 with a illegal block out there on the side. I think that's the same. I think that's the same penalty. So a really nice run by Rodriguez is going to be nullified by a penalty here. We got a hold on Gardner-Edgerton at the, looks like around the 46-yard line. Well, take it back to the 37, 38-yard line. So a 7-yard penalty.
First and 17 following the penalty.
McKelvey gives to Jennings, who's in the backfield that time as a tailback, and he's going to take it up to the 42-yard line for a gain of 5.
Nice job by Galise on that one to bring him down in the backfield.
I tell you what, there's one thing. You were talking about Jennings being long and big. He usually does come forward for about, he gains almost another yard on every time he goes down.
He runs low. I mean, a lot of times the knock on big guys, the tall guys like that, is they run too upright. But he really finishes off and really lowers his shoulder.
So it looks like Wes has jumped off sides here, and they'll get 5 yards back on 2nd and 13.
And really, again, West didn't do a bad job in the first half. I think they had about 35 yards of penalties, but you just really can't make mistakes against these guys because, again, you had them pinned back where you wanted them, and now you just gave them 5 yards, which you can't afford to give them. I mean, that's like giving them an extra down. Yeah,
I actually think all 4 of the penalties on West in the first half were on the offense too. There are no defensive penalties. They're clean on that side of the ball. And as we talked about, you have to be so assignments down and clean on that side of the ball when you're playing an offense like this. There's the carry, and McKelvey's net taken down short of the, well, we'll see if they give him. He's right at the line. He's maybe about a foot short. They're signaling 3rd down. So he gets to the 46-yard line.
45-yard line.
We'll give
3rd and inches.
And that was just their classic play. They got a wide receiver on that side. They got a wing on that side. They lead with the wing in motion, the fullback, and you just have so many lead blockers on that.
So a gain of 7 there. And there's the give to Hunsberger, who's just spinning and takes it all the way up to the 36-yard line for a gain of 10.
You know, it's funny. I'm looking on the program. I got him listed at 6'2", 185. He's definitely not 6'2", but if you look at the way that kid's built from the waist down, I mean, he's got a strong lower body and he runs hard.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way he's 6'2", especially when they have Tevin McKelvey at 6 foot, and McKelvey's bigger than he is, but he does run hard. There's the give to Jennings, who's going to take it up, and he gets met right at the 35-yard line. And you know what? The good thing to see, there's a lot of white shirts around him after that first initial hit.
Well,
they finished it off.
Chase Webb with a big hit on that. I mean, how many times you just said it a couple plays ago that he's so good at finishing, he always goes forward. I'll tell you, he met Chase Webb and he went back a yard.
So no gain on that play. 2nd and 10 at the 36-yard line. 6:01 left to go here. West almost jumps again, but stays onside. And Gardner-Edgerton's going to have to call a timeout. So Gardner-Edgerton takes the first timeout here of the game. 5:56 left to go. We'll be right back after this timeout.
A very important drive for new pairs of socks to sponsor homeless shelters around Kansas City. The Trailblazers have pledged 4,000 beers to complete the goal made by Skate for Change, a volunteer society in Kansas City, Missouri. So, at next Friday's home playoff game, please bring 1 or more brand new pairs of socks. These are adult socks. Any color will do. And we'd like to collect as many as possible. And soon, the students will find out more about that drive at the high school. Thank you so much.
We're back here for the first play after the timeout. 5:56 left to go here in the third quarter. A 2nd and 10. And then there's a give to Jennings, who's going to take it around the left side. He's got a full head of steam. He cuts back in at the 25 and all the way down to the 20-yard line. There's a penalty and a hold out around the corner. You know, the one thing is, guys, the couple of times Jennings been able to turn the corner, it's been because of a hold, like on that play right there.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check your pockets, and if you are missing,
Well, again, when you have so many lead
please come to the press
blockers on
box.
the play like that, you know, you've got the wide receiver, you've got the wing, you've got the fullback.
Thank you.
There's a lot of guys out in front that are grabbing and contributing to the opportunity to have a hold.
So ends up being a 8-yard penalty back to the 44-yard line.
This
Really, you know, this is what you want. I'm sorry, DJ, didn't interrupt. Go ahead.
I was going to say the exact same thing you were saying there, Mike. This is exactly what you want if you're West defense. This is where you want to step up and nut up and come up, make tackles, and stop that offense from getting a bunch of yards.
So 2nd and 18. There's the give straight ahead to Huntsberger, who's going to take it. He gets all his
Oh, wow.
You know, unfortunately, guys, he takes it all the way down to the 13-yard line, but unfortunately, a little bit of passive play by one of our D-backs there, who could have come up and made the play, and sort of ran off thinking that he was going to get blocked, and he never did.
Right. You talk about a guy who can finish the play, Hunsberger on that one.
So they get him down to the 13-yard line. There's the give to Jennings. He's going to take it all the way up for the touchdown. He gets into the end zone. Wow, they mark him down at the 1-foot line. I thought he got into the end zone.
I think they're going to say his knee hit prior to him crossing the goal line.
Clark tackled him just shy of the goal line. 1st and goal to go.
So if we watch the replay here real quick, can't go too long. Our replay's just about too much off, so we can't do the replay on that one. So McKelvey's going to give it to Hunsberger, and probably appropriate that he finishes that drive. A 12-play, 88-yard drive, capped off by a 1-yard Hunsberger run with 5 minutes left to go. Makes it 20-7 pending the extra point here, coming off from Caleb Calvin out of the hold of Tyler Getzman. Getzman puts the ball down, and there's the kick, and it's up and good. And it is 21-7 here with 5 minutes left to go. Again, off a 1-yard run by Hunsberger. So, again, we'll be right back after this timeout. And we're back for the kickoff following the 1-yard Hunsberger run. Puts Gardner-Edgerton up 21-7. 5 minutes left to go. Will Clark, the short kick, taken at the 30-yard line. Oh, and the ball's up in the air. And I think Gardner's jumped on that ball.
Oh,
and we got
a punch thrown here. Let's see what happens. Mason Marshall.
So we had
I'm sorry,
Gage,
Marshall Mason. I'm sorry.
Gage Jones and Gage Jones and
I think that was Seabass and somebody else from Gardner.
so West did get back on that ball at the 39-yard line. Fortunate because that ball came up big and
Yeah, and we were talking at the break. West can't give up any possessions at this point. You're only going to have a limited number of possessions. You're already 2 scores down. You need 2 possessions just to tie the game up.
we'll see if West starts here at the 39-yard line or the 24-yard line. I think we had unsportsmanlike on both teams. We're going to actually only on Gardner. Interesting.
You know, and I hate to say it, I think he got off easy on that one because you really saw somebody kind of throw a punch, and typically that's an ejection.
So West will start at the Gardner 44-yard line. So again, that is the best field position that West has had tonight. They've started one drive at their own 36 and one drive at their own 26. And then the last drive at the 46-yard line. It'd be nice to do something. They're going to have to do something with the ball here.
Well,
Kenny takes it forward for 2.
Being down by 2 scores, getting the short field, they're handing you the opportunity that you need. Now we just have to, like I said, we have to execute. But again, we got to be cognizant of that clock, and we can't just take a lot of time.
So gain about 1.5 yards there on first down. Just inside the 45-yard line of Gardner-Edgerton. 4.5 minutes left to go in this game. Callahan gives straight forward to Cadillo. Cadillo's going to take it forward to the 41-yard line. A gain of 4.
And don't be surprised that we get the West coaches on the side. I haven't heard anything, but if they're saying what I'm saying, boy, Gardner-Edgerton is going, DJ, without a safety, without free safety. You got an isolation on the wide receiver out there. The middle of the field is wide open. Now, not so much in this play, but in the last play.
I mean, you can still throw a fade here.
You stay skinny, too. And any kind of post, you stay skinny, you're good, too.
Right.
That one got blown up as Callahan kept the ball after the dive and
Flag
was
on the
knocked right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. We'll see what the sideline warning
sideline.
is all it is.
Okay.
But that's just a warning.
Oh, that's just a warning, yeah.
So no gain on the play. West will have a third down at the 42-yard line.
It must have been on the coach because if you look at the team is definitely 2 yards off the sideline, and I'm guessing he ran into the coach. And that's where the warning was on.
3:44 left to go here in the third quarter. Big 4th and 6 play here for West. Got to convert here. There's Callahan back to pass. Oh, and he's got, yes. I think we're going to have roughing the passer going low. Oh, a hold. Obviously, it'll be West gets the first down, so that will be accepted. So West will have to convert here again.
Being West here, you have to go for this first down.
Yeah. Even though you're going to be back, you got to go for it here.
Even with it being third quarter, I think you still have to get a touchdown here.
Well, like we talked about, I mean, Gardner-Edgerton just came off a 5-minute drive, and you just simply do the math. There's just not enough possessions left if you don't go for this.
Well, here's the interesting thing. West may not have got the first down. They may be short, and they are. So the penalty will be declined, and West.
Oh, and It's interesting, and I'm sorry we don't have the replay on that, but we got the West coaches on the side of us saying they thought that was a horrible spot, and boy, it sure appeared from our vantage point that it was a bad spot as well.
So there's the turnover on downs at the and I really did think that I really did think he got to almost the 35-yard line. He was
Right.
right about the 36-yard line. He did bobble the ball initially, but still kept it, and I think was ahead of the sticks.
Well, what's interesting about that is that when he did bobble the ball, I think he gained another yard.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's water under the bridge now.
So 1st and 10 for Gardner at the West 37-yard line. There's the give
Rodriguez.
to Rodriguez.
Oh, there. Oh,
On both sides.
yeah. This is where we got to be smart. I mean, Rodriguez got up and he started in on something, and he got a flag, and it appears like one of our guys walked away, and the back judge then catches him with a flag. So I think you're going to offsetting.
You're going to have unsportsmanlike on Gardner, just on Gardner. So a 2-yard gain.
Oh, okay.
So it will be a 2-yard gain, and then the penalty will bring it back 15 yards here. So a 2-yard gain up to the 39-yard line. And then they'll start back at their own now 24-yard line.
I think Gardner's sitting on their high horse right now, thinking that they're undefeated right now, thinking they can do what they want regardless of the score, even though they're winning. I think they kind of just figure they can just come out and, talk a little smack and not think they're going to get away with a lot of stuff. But I think the refs are going to still call this a fair game regardless of how it's going.
Well, and it looks like they got the captains to the middle of the field again, and that very thing, DJ, saying, hey, listen, don't put us in a situation where we're throwing guys out of the game. And we found that a couple weeks ago where flags were flying, and once you get one unsportsmanlike, the next one, you're out. And the other thing is, now, how does that play in the playoffs, Dave? If you're thrown out of the game,
they would have to set out the first half of the next
and that's
of the next game.
That's the last thing they want to do.
So McKelvey is going to take another timeout. Gardner-Edgerton takes their second timeout of the half.
That is interesting. That's the second time they did that. And what they did is they send the wide receiver or the wingback in motion, and then the quarterback goes with a hard count. And it's like they're trying to draw you off sides. And when they don't, it's like they don't really have a play. It's like the play is let's draw them off sides. And then twice they've used up 2 timeouts. Hopefully they don't need them. But then again, you don't want to use up 2 timeouts in the third quarter.
Yeah, for what reason? I don't understand why that's necessary when you're up 2 touchdowns right now. I mean, were they back 20 yards close enough, and why not just go for it?
Yeah, exactly. But they can get 5 yards back.
Run a play.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you said, you're second and 25, and you're going to get 5 back. What's that 5 do for you?
Well, I guess we're not the coaches on Mike.
That's why we're up here calling the game, DJ.
We just act like one.
Exactly.
Stayed at Holiday Inn Express last night.
We sound awful smart up here in the box, yeah.
If only they could hear us.
307, the ball falling.
Oh,
no way. McKelvey's going to take this for a first down and 4. All the way down to the 24-yard line on a ball that was fumbled at the line of scrimmage.
I tell you what.
And he takes it all the way to the 24-yard line. 23-yard line.
I'm not saying everything's going right for Gardner-Edgerton, but I'll tell you what, a fumble with a real opportunity for West to have the ball close and then turn a quick drive, and it bounces right back in McKelvey's hands.
Here's the replay. We do get a chance to the replay. He fumbled it right at the 24, and he takes it to the opposite 24.
And because of the fact that it was supposed to be a give to the fullback, everybody's diving to the middle of the field, and McKelvey's got an open lane to the outside.
McKelvey under center. There's the give to Huntsberger. And he's going to take it right forward, and he's just a bowling ball.
Yeah,
I tell you what, like I said, there's no way he's 6'2", but he runs hard.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and he's, like I said, he's solid from the waist down. That guy's just strong.
I'm not going to take anything away from him, but West got to do a better job of coming up and filling those holes.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, you and I talked a little bit earlier. We were looking at the linebackers, and we thought they were playing a little deep, and they got it. On this offense, you got to crash those gaps.
You obviously know they're not going to throw the ball. We haven't seen one pass play this whole time.
And look at you're really not even lining a DB up on them. You're kind of just playing a double safety on that.
First and 10 at the 11-yard line. There's Jennings, who's going to bowl his way right into the end zone.
You know what?
Around the right side.
We saw that last drive, same play.
And that's the same thing we were just talking about right there, Mike. Linebackers not coming up and filling gaps, along with the safety help not coming up and filling the gaps. Safety's kind of being a little passive-aggressive again, like we've been talking about this whole time. And can't be passive-aggressive with a fast-paced offense like this. It gets downhill extremely fast. And once you get downhill extremely fast with a big guy like that, 6'4", 210, he's running everybody over.
Yeah.
You know why, guys? The extra point makes it 28-7. Here's the tough thing that we talked about. West in the first half with drives, a 18-play drive and a 15-play drive, and in the second half, 2 3-and-outs. Now the last one was a 4-and-out, not a 3-and-out, but turnover on downs without getting a first down.
And the thing that's really a killer on that day, if you remember right, they had the short field because of the short kickoff. Then there was a penalty, and so you were inside the 50, and then you do a 3-and-out, and that just kills you.
The thing is, we talked about this right before the half just started. West just kind of comes out in a slump the second half each game. You know, besides our late to East game, they kind of just come out in a slump and don't look like they want to give up the same effort. You know, that may not have to do a lot with the kids because they look like they're fighting, but, you know, maybe it could be a coaching issue as well. But, you know, they still have to come out with some fire, some intensity, and still play this game. I mean, they're still in this game. There's still, 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in this game.
So a short kick taken at the 22-yard line. Cadu is going to take it up the side to about the 34-yard line. And we're talking about field position. West started the first possession of this half at their own 46, the second possession at the Gardner 46. So when you're playing around at midfield and you go 3-and-out both times, that's a killer there.
Yeah, and the other thing is now you put yourself in a position on offense where you take away kind of your game plan. Now you're forced to almost have to pass, and you put Gardner-Edgerton in a better position to play against you because they're going to expect that. And just as
Callahan looking for the slant, he throws it behind Clark. Maybe a possibility to catch that, but it would have been a tough catch running the slant away and trying to come back and get that.
If I'm West here, I'd run the same play again. You've got a 5'10", 135-pound corner sitting out there on Wesley Clark, who's probably West's dominant receiver.
Yeah, and the other thing is they're giving you the space. I mean, they're basically saying, you know what, we'll give you the underneath stuff. We just can't afford the over the top.
And the give straight ahead, that's good for about a yard up to the 35-yard line. And DJ, I'm with you. You look at the cushion that he's been given, and Wesley should be able to pick up yards all night long.
I mean, you can run
given that condition.
You can run just a 1-yard plant, throw the ball, a screen, and they're still good 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards.
There's offsides
we'll take the 5.
on Gardner-Edgerton. Blazers jump.
No, and
that'll give the West 5 yards.
Interesting call, DJ, with you saying, you know, the run the screen, because with them being as aggressive as they are and as much space as they're in the middle of the field, you know, little bubble screen, just something that you got to believe would be wide open.
You don't even have to be in a twin set with that bubble screen either. You could be a 1 set and just throw it out there.
And then there's offsides. That's going to be on West not getting set. We just gave their 5 yards right back to him. So West gives that 5 yards right back, and it'll again be 3rd down and 9 from the 35-yard line. And I do want to see this again. I don't see where we were offsides. Honestly, I don't see where we false started.
The only thing I can see is that they called a Dante Smith-Posey, who came off the ball fast and hard. And he came off faster than the guard in the end, and maybe it appeared like he jumped. There's
just no time. He had Wesley Clark open, but a sack all the way back to the 29-yard line by Peyton Vance will bring out West. And guys, we were talking about after 2 really good drives in the second half, that's going to be the 3rd straight 3 and out.
Yeah. And again, what happens is it puts you in predictable positions, and it makes it easy for the Peyton Vances of the world just to pin their ears back and just go after the quarterback.
Especially with him being a little ham hog, 5'9", 277. Just getting right under the offensive lineman and pushing him out the way.
Ruben Anderson with the punt. High wobbly kick. It's going to hit down around the 47-yard line. So a punt of 24 yards. I'm more generous than the play-by-play guy, or the PA guy over there. I'll give him 24 yards on that punt. So
here's where, we haven't had that turnover yet. This is, you need to do 2 things. First of all, you need to stop the play, but the guy that comes in second has got to rip, DJ. He's just got to try to rip the ball out. You got to force a turnover.
Yeah, make sure you secure that tackle first, because.
Right. Well, especially that Hunsberger.
And there's your tackle.
Okay.
A nice tackle by
Gage Jones.
Gage Jones and Jacob Porra.
That's
your
just
2 ends. I mean, that's,
That's just what we were talking about right there, Mike. Gage Jones did a good job of securing that tackle, and Jacob Port came over the top and tried to strip it out, even though the running back fell over the top, pretty soon over the top of Gage Jones. If hold him up for a couple more seconds, I think maybe, attempt at taking that ball.
Well, what I liked about that, too, with Gage Jones coming off the left side is as soon as the wingback vacated his position on that play, he's coming from the backside, and he catches that running back.
Right.
So, he did a great job of coming across aggressive, as you've been saying all night long, and then really chasing the play down from the backside.
The thing with this offense that, playing against it for 3 straight years, 4 straight years is once the offensive linemen aren't going, backside, they're more worried about what's in front of them. So they're going from offensive linemen straight to the 2 front linebackers to the safeties. You get those D linemen that are getting pressure and keeping their line down the line and getting down the line of scrimmage and then just going after the making tackle. When you got a long play that develops like that, which is probably one of their longer plays, it's easier for them to come up and make that tackle from behind.
Right. No, exactly right. Exactly right.
So after 3, it's 28-7 Gardner-Edgerton. We're going to start the 4th quarter here. Gardner will have 2nd and 10 at their own 48-yard line. Give to Hunsberger. Takes up the middle for 3. Imagine that. Up the middle for 3 yards.
Hunsberger up middle for 3.
So he takes it into West territory at the 49-yard line, a gain of 3. 11 and a half minutes left to go here in the game. West really needs to stop if they want any chance here, because there's not going to be a lot of possessions left. Jennings is just bowling his way up the middle and running all the way down to the 30-yard line.
Oh, yeah.
30-yard line. Number 3, Sebastian Garcia.
We're going to have
you're going to have
maybe a face mask there at the end.
I think what you're going to have is just unnecessary roughness. And really, I don't think was intentional. It was Port trying to chase the play down from the back and the guy going down, and just speed of the game, he happened to hit the guy high and the helmet come off.
Regardless, in high school, doesn't he still have to come off for a play?
Not if it's a penalty.
Not
if it's a penalty, you're good. So a 19-yard gain and a 15-yard face mask penalty. It's going to take this ball all the way from the West 49-yard line down to the West 15-yard line. So guess we'll give him 19 yards on the carry and another 15 yards. And Gardner-Edgerton will have it 1st and 15 or 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. 11 minutes left to go here in the game. Hunsberger is just following up in the middle and takes it all the way up to the 7-yard line.
And this is where just this offense just wears the defense down. couple things. You're getting late into the game now, and it's just that constant 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, and you start wearing down those front guys, and then you start creating bigger holes and bigger gains.
10.5 minutes left to go here in the game. We got a whistle. Play clock had not started, so
It was rolling.
So it somehow got reset.
or they reset it.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 2 from the 7, and Huntsberger's going to take it in for the touchdown. He's in there. 7-yard touchdown run by Huntsberger. And that's his second touchdown of the second half.
Yeah.
A 1-yard run in the third quarter with 5 minutes left, and now a 7-yard run with 21 left. Makes it a 34-7 game pending the extra point. Calvin with the kick. It's up, and it is good. And it's 35-7, Gardner-Edgerton. We'll be right back after this timeout. McClure will kick off here following the Huntsberger 7-yard run. Make it 35-7, Gardner-Edgerton. There's the kick, another short kick taken by Cadu at the 29-yard line. He gets knocked down at the 31-yard line, and West will start again. Should be at the 31-yard line.
Yeah, and
Oh my God! You don't. He goes up to the 31, gets knocked back to the 29, and they give him the ball at 29. I tell you what, we've been talking about these line judges and their spots all night long, but that's probably one of the worst ones. So it'll be West, 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line, their own 29-yard line. Kenny trying to get around in, and he gets up to the 32.
26 Kenny with the carry.
So
go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
No, you're good.
No, I was just going to say what I am seeing now is you're seeing for Gardner-Edgerton just a lot of new numbers on the field out there. So you got to take advantage of that and, maybe come up with a quick score. Again, from a time clock standpoint, basically the game's out of reach.
Yeah, 9:45 left to go. There's not enough possessions here, obviously, to get 28 points, even with a bunch of onside kicks. But you just got to keep playing. The biggest thing here is, and that's a 3-yard gain for C.J. Callahan up to the 36-yard line. The biggest thing here is you've got to show in the second half that you can bring it a little bit in the second half, because this is a lot like last week. We had a great first half, and then other than the one touchdown drive, we had 3 punts in the second half, and we're here at 2 punts and out on downs here in the second half, and we're going to be out with a punt here again. So
38 May is there to make the play.
This is going to be the fourth. It's going to be, unless they go for it, it's going to be the 4th 3 and out. Again, one was turned over on downs, a 4 and out, and then looks like they're going to go for it.
Yeah. I mean, why not?
No, you gotta have these guys to learn how to battle here and what they want to do. Callahan under center. He's looking for for Wesley Clark, and Wesley
got
makes a
him.
nice grab at the
Pass is complete.
41-yard line, takes it up to the 44-yard line, so a first down. And that's
Team Johnson on the tackle.
I said, I think I spoke too soon. I go, well, he's got it. And then I looked at which side of the field and which lines judge we got.
I was going to say it's a good thing because he got swung around at the 41. That's not on his own. I was glad he picked it back up because I wasn't sure where they would spot him. Kenny's going to take it out to the right side. He cuts up field, gets all the way up to the 49-yard line. They'll give him up to, oh my.
Looked like he got over the 50 at least.
I'm not kidding. He goes down at the west 49-yard line. Line judge over here marks him at the 49-yard line of Gardner-Edgerton, 2 yards off the ball.
Is it like the old fields where there was a big hump in the field and the guys on the sideline, they can't see the middle of the field because of the hump, they can't see their side?
Watching OU run the wishbone coming downhill on
Right.
those crown fields like that.
Right,
So,
exactly.
hey, pick up of 5 yards by Kenny, and he's going to take it all the way up to the 42-yard line again, and a pickup of
The tackle at number 20.
9 yards on there.
No, and the the other thing we talked about, we did talk about, is that you still have a game next week. It's still the playoffs, and the playoffs are still, there's no tomorrow. So anything can happen in the playoffs.
It's not a first down. Okay.
26, Kenny.
Kenny takes it up to the 30. We snapped that ball from our own 49-yard line,
Number 6,
got 9
Davis
yards up
making
to
the
the 42-yard line, and they gave us a first down.
They're just trying to make up for it, Dave. They've been hearing you up here, and they're just trying to right the ship a little bit.
That was a first down. A 12-yard
That
gain
was.
by Kenny. Takes it up to the
I'll tell you.
30-yard line, and there's the give to Cadillo, who's going to take it to the 26-yard line.
And here, you're kind of lulling them to sleep a little bit. Here's where I might take a crack, over the middle, and just catch them off guard.
Or at least
moving the ball.
throw the football.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Results in 2nd and 6.
I mean, you're down, 4 touchdowns? Why not throw the football?
And you may see you got Wesley over here. There's the give to Cadillo, straight up the middle to the, looks like about the 22-yard line.
32, Cadillo.
A gain of 4, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
Vikings facing 3rd down and 2 to go.
Callahan hands off to Kenny. Kenny takes it up the field.
26, Kenny.
Kenny takes it to the the 18-yard line. Be another first down. Thanks, DJ. Over here trying to get
trying to
stats
find
over
it.
here.
5 yards on the run by Kenny.
Kenny with the run up to the 18.
32, Cadillo.
Cadillo up to the 15-yard line for a gain of 3.
Evanstein making the tackle.
Short 3.
2 yards gained on the play. It is 2nd and 8.
West is taking a lot of time here, even though the game may be out of reach. They're still taking a lot of time to. I guess they don't want to put up any more touchdowns. I guess.
I want to just make sure that they're doing this right and they're fighting to get some yards. Now, you are going to have some Kenny with a good run up to about the 9-yard line. Gardner's got some second-teamers in there and that, but after 3 and outs, you got to make even if you have 1 or 2 possessions left and it's out of reach, you got to get some scoring in here.
Right, and if I'm West and I see that, Gardner already put in their second team regardless of the score, then that kind of puts a fire in me if I'm one of the rush running backs or anybody on the offensive side of the ball right now, because kind of just says, like, obviously we are good enough to put in our first team and you still not score.
Right.
With the tackle.
And Kenny's down to the 7. Looks like it will
4th down
be
and 1 to go.
4th. I can't imagine they're not. No, they give it a first down.
Okay, yeah.
inside the 7, so it will be a first down inside the 7. 4:45 left to go here in the game. Singh split out to the left. Gleese as a wingback on the left. And Kinney's going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown.
For his second touchdown of the night.
So Kinney with a 7-yard touchdown run with 4:31 left to go. Makes it 35-13 pending the extra point. It's a good drive by West, a 71-yard drive. And unfortunate thing, again, we talk about who was in, who was out on the defense there, but after having great field position on those first 2 drives, not getting anything in, it's nice for them to get a score there.
A hold for more at PAT. Anderson are good.
And kind of your point, Dave, you still got to execute. It doesn't matter who's on the field or not. Whether it's second team defense, third team defense, you still as an offense, you got to execute.
So looks like it'll be. I can't imagine. Obviously, we don't have enough. We don't have enough time here to get enough possessions in. But I would be surprised if we don't have an onside
It takes you
kick.
just a bit longer to leave and get to your car.
Well,
We invite
same
you to stay.
thing.
It's a tremendous show, but
It's good
you
practice.
need to make
Again,
preparations.
I'll reiterate.
Again,
Next week's
several
playoffs,
announcements leading up to
anything
that,
can
but
happen. You win
It's
one,
quite the
you
show, and we'll be
live to
starting
play
it
another day.
following.
And if you're a senior, God, I want to play as many which ball as I can, because for most of these kids, this is the end of it, the end of their career. So, let's execute and practice everything we can, and see if we can steal one next week and extend the season one more game.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing about the way they do playoffs now.
Yeah, different than when you played, DJ.
Yeah, a lot different than we played. Ours were based on points, how many games you won, how many games you lost, the basics.
And I think West is still looking probably at being the third to last. It's probably still in Olathe North. They'll probably still play Olathe North, but outside chance of maybe playing Shawnee Mission East or Shawnee Mission South. There's just a pooch kick through the middle, picked up by Gardner at the 16-yard line. Taken ahead by number 27, Jacob Butash, to the 37-yard line. So
after a nice gain on the return.
about a 20-yard gain on that return by Butash will give Gardner the ball.
It looks like we
First
got
and 10.
a lot of new numbers on offense again for Gardner-Edgerton. So we got backup quarterback in number 12, Quentin Johns. He's a sophomore.
Interesting when you had Getzman come in, quarterback there at the end of the first half, that he wouldn't be the guy who comes in here at the end of the game possibly to get some time.
Quarterback in for Gardner-Edgerton, number 12.
But
Quentin Johns.
12, Quentin Johns
The tailback, 23,
gives to number 23, Parker Kortner, who takes it ahead for 10 yards and another first down.
I'm sorry to laugh. The
9-yard gain.
The side judge that you have trouble with, Dave, just came in, and after the ball was spotted, he moved it forward another foot to give him the first down and move the chains. I don't know. I know we're a little sensitive here, but it just cracks me up after all the comments we made earlier.
I'm honestly not sure what he's looking at times in this game. And Gardner-Edgerton trying to take as much time off the play clock as possible. 3:45 left to go when that ball snapped. And number 23, Parker Kortner, takes it ahead for, we're going to give him 6 yards right now. We'll see what they give him after the line judge comes back in. And he keeps it at 6 yards.
Now we're getting a little chippy up here. Let's make sure we don't get any unsportsmanlike. I
Maybe.
don't want you to get thrown out of the booth, and then DJ and I have to do the play-by-play the first half of the playoff game.
I'm good on it because me and Mike aren't good at numbers.
Exactly. We have our shoes and socks off up here, counting on our toes.
Hope we never get to 21.
No, that's okay. DJ has got 6 toes on one foot.
Okay,
That's
okay,
what I've been
we're
told.
That's as far as we got to go right now.
Ball carrier number
So number 28, Jake McClure takes that ball ahead to the
23, Maldonado making the tackle.
43-yard line,
Gain of 3 by
and it'll be just shy of a first down. It'll be third and about a half a yard here for Gardner-Edgerton. 2.5 minutes left to go here in this game, and they'll look at just running out the clock. There's the give straight ahead to number 23. I tell you what, Parker Kortner has had some pretty good runs here. 3 really nice runs here on this drive.
I think West defense is probably kind of giving up. They don't look to, they don't look like they have any energy right now. They're kind of just waiting for the horn to go.
Yeah.
Well, let's at least let's finish the game and let's prevent any more points going on the board.
7-yard carry by Kortner there. It's going to give Gardner-Edgerton a first down. There's the give, and it looks like Rodriguez is still in there. Nope, that wasn't Rodriguez. I thought that was actually number 27, Butash.
The ball carrier.
He's going to take it forward to the 30. Okay, one's at the 34, one's at the 33.
We'll put it in half.
We'll split the difference. It's going to be the 33 and a half. We'll give them 3 yards anyway.
Is that a left eye dominant, right eye dominant thing? They're on the wrong side of the field.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they have any dominance right now. So a minute and a half left to go. There's the pitch.
Butash
taken by Butash.
Pitch goes to the tailback, 27.
Up to, looks like about the 31-yard line. 31-yard line. Give the 31, so a gain of 2. It'll be a third and a short 5.
They're going to have to get this play out, otherwise they're going to run out of time. 2-1.
They did get the play off. Yeah. That's a delay of game. That was a quick play clock.
I was thinking the same thing, Dave. I looked up and I saw like less than 10 seconds, and I don't know what they set that clock on.
I can't imagine that the play clock went, because
I think what they did was they continued it from the previous play.
On the last snap, it was under 130. It was in the 120s on the last snap. And if you got a play clock of 25, you should have, it was around 121, I thought.
And by the time you set the ball and
I don't think they reset that properly. It'd be difficult to see. Yeah, they're waving it off. I'm hard pressed to see that was a oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they sat it on. We're ready to go home time.
And there's the pitch to Butash. He's trying to get out to the left side, and he's taken down for a gain of about 6 yards to the 25-yard line, but it'll be a first down and one more play, and that will be the game.
You got a couple guys in for West. You got Robert Roberts seeing some time, which is good. See him get some field time out there. And also I think I'm seeing Christian Coggs out there, number 63. I think he's been in there.
He was in there early in that game.
Yeah.
I think he may be a freshman. We'll see. He's not listed on the roster with a grade. So, and Gardner-Edgerton will go to a knee here. There's last 20 seconds of the game will click off here. And it'll be a 35-14 Gardner-Edgerton win. And we'll be right back to sum up the scoring and the stats for this game.
Trailblazer fans, let's hear it.
And that was
for
the
your
that's the end of the game. A
regular season
35-14 Gardner-Edgerton win. We'll do the scoring recap for the game. Again, 35-14 Gardner-Edgerton. Gardner-Edgerton got the first score of the game with a 3-yard McKelvey run with 7:41 left in the first quarter to go up 7-0. After West had an 18-play drive turned over on downs, Gardner-Edgerton took over at their own 17-yard line, and 9 plays drive was capped off by a Jennings 26-yard run to make it 14-0 with 9:23 left to go in the first half. West then got the ball back at started at their own 36-yard line and went 64 yards in 15 plays. An Adam Kinney 8-yard run with 2:54 left to go made it 14-7 Gardner-Edgerton, and that's where it was at halftime. In the second half, West got the opening kickoff, but was unable to advance the ball and punted. Gardner-Edgerton, taking over at their own 12, went 88 yards in 12 plays with 5 minutes left to go. Hunsbarger goes in for a 1-yard run and a 21-7 Gardner-Edgerton lead. Gardner-Edgerton then scored again with 2:18 left to go in the third quarter on a Jennings 11-yard run, his second touchdown run of the game, with 2:18 again left in the third quarter and a 28-7 Gardner-Edgerton lead. Gardner-Edgerton took over right at the end of the third quarter and drove it 52 yards in 5 plays, scored with 10:21 left to go in the game for a Hunsberger 7-yard run to make it 35-7. Then Andrew Kinney added his second touchdown run of the game for West to cap off the scoring, a 7-yard run with 4:31 left to go in the game on a 71-yard 14-play drive, made it 35-14. And Mike, as we look at the stats here in this in the game, we were talking about how even the stats were, and this is just the second half stats. So, but how even the stats were in the first half, they weren't that way in the second half. 258 to 73 total yards. And it really showed off in West having to punt the ball twice and turn it over on downs once.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. We talked about this. We would talk about the same cycle all year long, kind of that second half fade and having trouble. The unfortunate thing is that you did come out after halftime and you had 2 short fields and they turned into 2 3-and-outs. And it was a real opportunity to really turn things around, because at that point, you go into halftime, you're only a touchdown down. You get the ball back, you get the short field, and boy, what an opportunity if you would have come back and put some points on the board to really make this a different ball game. Instead, you don't. You let Gardner-Edgerton go down, drive, score twice, and then at that point, the game's kind of out of
446 yards. 442 on the ground. They're usually around 440 in there, so they're right at their average.
Exactly.
And they just did it on the ground, especially in that second half. West did a really good job in that first half of sustaining long drives, not letting Gardner on the field. They basically gave Gardner two drives in the first half. They had the one short drive to run out the half, but only really 2 drives. And Gardner got their 4th drive in the 4 drives in the second half. So I don't know. We sort of saw what we may have thought there.
Well, and you spoke to it earlier when you said that in the first half we were gang tackling. You saw the difference in it. The longer drives, there were shorter plays, and even though we gave up 2 scores, what was happening is we were gang tackling, we were containing them to 3-4 yards in the second half. Then what, as you said earlier, all of a sudden now you saw the differences in the plays. The plays, instead of the 3-yard gains, the gains were 6 yards, 12 yards, 15 yards, and you just started wearing that defense down, and because your offense was on, 3 and out, again, then you got in a situation, you just started wearing your D down.
And so Callahan finishes 5 for 8 for 48 yards. Gilliard 5 carries for 26, and that was a big loss there on both sides of the ball there.
And we didn't speak to that. And I think that did play into it pretty big. Was that Gilliard? He's your guy, and he was hurt the second half and didn't see a snap.
Cadillo 13 rushes for 38, and Kinney 22 for 94. A nice game by Andrew Kinney. 2 touchdowns there. Callahan adds 13 yards on 6 carries. Wesley Clark with 3 receptions for 31 yards. Humphreys added 1 for 10. Probably was 1 for 11, but we'll give 1 for 10. And Cadillo with 1 catch for 7 yards. And as we look at the stats there for the Trailblazers, McKelvey just on the 1 for 1 for 4 yards in the whole game. But a big night by Jennings, and the guy who really impressed me was Hunsberger.
I agree. I mean, that guy runs hard. He hits a hole quick. What's so interesting about him too, and I saw the difference between the first team and the second team, is that Hunsberger, he gets down low and he's right behind the quarterback. And when he hits the line of scrimmage, he's quick, and then he's so powerful. He gets into the second layer, and I'll tell you what, D-backs, even linebackers have trouble bringing that guy down, and he's very impressive, as you said, Dave.
Yeah, they have their 2 guys. Jennings gets in that sweep, that spinner motion, and comes around. He gets a full head of speed coming around the corner, but Hunsberger's just right up the middle. He's set 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage lineman. And he gets going, and he runs hard.
No surprises with this offense. You know exactly what you're getting. It's just, hey, stop it. They dial it up. I'll go as far as saying they could almost give you their game plan and say, here you go, here's what we're going to run. Now just let me see you stop it.
And most definitely, and actually both in both the first half and second half, we really weren't able to stop it. They had Gardner had 7 drives tonight, 3 in the first half and 4 in the second half, and they scored on 5 of their 7 drives. The only 2 drives they didn't score on were drives to end the first half and drive to end the second half. So
right.
They really did on all their full drives. They did score, and West wasn't able to stop them there.
Right.
And West did a really good job of matching him for the most part in the first half, but just wasn't able to do it in the second half.
No, and as we said, had you had a good drive to start out the second half, or even the second drive, it's just a completely different ball game.
And so that'll do it here from Gardner-Edgerton, and hopefully we're okay. It looks like they may have shut down the they might have temporarily shut down, so I don't know what words of wisdom we didn't get there where we had it, but we'll let Gardner-Edgerton do their light show on the way out here, and talk a little bit really quick about next week. Is the playoffs start. You only have 8 games now. Your 9th game is the playoffs. Everybody's there, and you're probably going to play a team that you played before, who really, really offensively did a lot of good things against you in Olathe North.
Well,
Olathe
North. Yeah, I think you're right. And they're a lot like this team. I mean, they're that offense where they have 1, 2, 3 guys that are really good runners. So we know, their quarterback runs really well. They've got a halfback that runs really well. But I think the thing that we underplayed last time was how well they can throw the ball.
Yeah.
And we thought they were going to come out and really try to dominate with the run. And I'll tell you where they hurt us more was in the air.
Arlen Bush did a really good job of throwing the ball in that game, and that combined with his running ability, and then Damian Sanchez, who I really like as a running back.
Right.
that they're pretty potent offense, and so we may get them again outside shot of it may being Shawnee Mission East, which is not this offense anymore. Shawnee Mission East doesn't run this flex bone anymore, so.
Or Shawnee Mission South. There's
Shawnee
a
Mission South. We do that,
and I think we both are saying, boy, if we could draw Shawnee Mission South, I think we line up best with them versus the other teams.
Yeah, and you just can't let in that game. You can't let Jack Roberts hurt you getting outside. You got to try to contain him and not let him get outside and get that running game going. So we'll see. We should know by tomorrow who they're playing, and I can't imagine it being anybody else than those three. I have been wrong before, but not very often. So
I hope your wife's not listening.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know who is listening, but we'll see what we get next week. And we got at least one more day, one more week to play, and we'll see how it goes from there. So this is David Compton signing off. I want to thank Mike Relihan and Chris Turner, DJ Turner, and Todd Walker.
Mr. Walker, good to have you back this week. Great
Yep.
job on the stats. That really makes us sound smart.
As smart as we possibly can be.
It helps me out. Dave always sounds smart.
Yeah, so we'll be back here next week for the playoff game and any week past that as we continue to go, but definitely next week. And Mike, as we always say as we close out this broadcast.
And to our West family that's always listening, we appreciate your support. VTC Viking Touchdown Club for your support. You guys are the best. West is the best.